How are y'all doing? You made me feel so special seeing that. Hi, JB. Good afternoon. That's so sweet. Mr. Barber. Good afternoon, all. Vicky D made my day. I thank God for y'all. Thank you. Wow. I have the best career in the world. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. And I appreciate this opportunity to share the information provided by my registered investment advisory firm, JB Bryan Financial Group, established in 1995. Woo, y'all. Time is adding up. You know, interesting, interesting enough. We got a lot going on. Let me send you this link because this is some interesting stuff. I'm looking at research. Y'all know school's about to start back up for me. Got my last, God willing, my last. So I want y'all to come into the studio. My last class before I start writing. Gonna write that dissertation. Yeah, I was pretty much. I am that student. I am that student that like goes to school but never liked school. I love learning, but I never liked school. Like, but I love to learn. So starts next Monday. Y'all are got people going back to school. The babies, the pictures on social media of the kids going back to school makes my heart, oh, I remember that. I'm blessed to have one daughter. For those of you who don't know, but she's in college and she was yesterday went to class. This is her first semester doing this, her first semester as a teacher's assistant. She's still a TA. She's still in school, but a teacher asked her if she would consider being a teacher's assistant. And she's doing that. I'm proud of her. She was so proud of her. She was born to be a teacher, I think. I don't know, but she, loves school. Much better at it. Much better at it than me. Ms. Wilkerson, did you love school? Did you love school? Wait a minute. Did you love school?
At first, no.
So in elementary school, you didn't like it?
Nah, I got bullied. Girl, I got
What they
bullied.
call you? What they call you? White girl. White girl. White girl. But you
I,
so
I
light
had,
skinned.
girl, I had a crazy girl
Mm.
in kindergarten that all I did was cry. And I can't stop her from crying. The teacher would
Come on,
say,
Miss
"Can
Davis.
y'all come stop her?" And after I had my sister came down, I said, "It's her right there. Name was Lisa." I don't know if Lisa's
Not Lisa.
alive today, but
Lisa could
oh,
fight.
Lisa was crazy.
Lisa
Lisa
could
was
fight.
crazy.
Lisa
I
could
don't
fight. She
know,
got confused that you couldn't fight. She
girl. I
thought you could
couldn't.
fight. You know you could fight.
No,
Or you know,
I was so traumatized as a small child. I
by
was the
Lisa.
middle by Lisa, and then I had a boy pop me in the nose. Why'd you hit my sister? I like her.
Wait a minute. That's what he said. The reason he hit you in the nose,
Yeah, yeah.
girl.
I said I'm
You just
tired.
look, wild thing.
Uh,
He
t-
look.
uh,
You brought out his wild side, boy. He popped you in the
nah,
nose.
nah. That's when Daddy started. Y'all need to start defending each other. And if y'all can't
Oh,
get along with each other, go out there and beat each other. And that's how I learned how to fight.
did
So
you really learn how to fight?
I learned how to fight that way.
Come on, Vicky D. Are you serious?
Uh, I was treated bad.
Lord,
I was treated
you
bad.
know I know you're gonna be shocked, but I have never been in a public fight in my life. Not
Oh,
with
dang.
someone outside of my home. But then, you know what? That's not true because I just remembered in first grade or kindergarten, I beat up Preston, my boyfriend.
Why you had to beat up president?
Preston wanted to kiss,
Oh,
and somebody else was there, and like, our little friend from down the street, and there's something that was between, like, but Preston wanted my attention, and I had to be there for Daryl, and I don't know, Preston got on my nerves that day, and I just turned around, and I started just swinging, because he was trying to give me a kiss, and it was like any other day she would have let me kiss her. Charlie, Preston, and I just like went off. I don't know. But that's the last fight, like kindergarten or first grade. Last fight I never did, because thank God Preston didn't fight back. He just took it like a man. He took it
mm.
like a man.
So did you ever had to put hands on your significant other?
No, no, no. I don't think they would have been like Preston. Because
Ah,
Preston took it like a man. They wouldn't
mm,
have taken it like a man. Like, yeah. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know what that was. Like, it was something that was like, yeah, Daryl was like my little brother. Preston was trying to do something that day. Poor thing. But please forgive me, Preston. She's probably still thinking about that, because if I remember it, I mean, and I hope that, sometimes when we remember things, it's much more dramatic than what it was. Maybe I turn
Yeah.
around and I just smacked him up. Maybe I just pushed his shoulder or something. Look, maybe I did a Sha'Carri Richardson, put little Preston down. And Preston said, "Don't press charges. Don't press charges." She
He's
better think.
like, you
She she better think Christian. And I had to think
no.
Preston.
He was
But
look, all you had to do was turn. He was sexually harassed.
exactly, he was grabbing me, trying to get.
I'm
I know.
serious.
I'm not even concerned about that part,
No.
because Preston knows. Like, she let me kiss her before. So if you let me kiss you before, then why are you going to like be mad about me kissing you that day? So it
Mm-mm.
probably would have been used against me.
I
I couldn't have
know.
used that one, because Preston was like, no, no, that's my girlfriend. Preston
No.
he was from New York.
Oh
Do you
Lord
remember
Jesus.
growing up? Everybody was from New York.
Oh yeah. My ex.
Everybody that came.
Yeah.
And this was in Delaware, so he didn't come that
Oh
far.
dang.
But Preston's from New York. Now, then when I moved to Virginia, everybody was from New York. No.
True. True.
Everybody that moved out, everybody that came to town was in New York. They looked at me funny, because it was like, you're from Delaware. Who's from Delaware? But by way of North Carolina, because that's my place. I love North Carolina. Spent every summer there. Indeed. Indeed. Vicky D. Let's see. Oh no, it's only showing the black screen. I don't know what's up with that. Why it's doing that. Well, Vicky, I appreciate you trying. Don't go nowhere. And let me tell y'all, it was a private chat. Oh, Vicky said, yeah, only the host can see you. Exactly. I know, because now it won't let me just put you up without your camera on. That's crazy. Let me try this. Let me try this. Yeah. As I say now, Vicky and y'all, Ms. Wilkerson, I know y'all will back me up on this. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Look, we don't fight anymore, Ms. Wilkerson. We don't fight. But back to school, and I hope they don't have any fighting in school, because now little stuff that we did in school, they can't do that anymore. Like, I don't know.
No, but Ivy,
Huh?
look, somebody grab my hair. Somebody grab my hair. No, they gotta go down.
Yeah, but school's different now. School's different now. You can't do like stuff that we
Oh
just thought was like, oh,
yes.
that's just a little fight, and they would send us back to class or whatever. Like, that's not
Mm,
now. Assault
mm.
charges and everything, and suspension and
I'm
everything. So
serious.
I'm just praying for the kids that
Yeah,
they will
cause
be safe and have a good time and enjoy education.
Yeah,
It's sad. 'Cause
yeah,
they
because
can't.
I think it was a 14-year-old, 15-year-old got into an altercation, and the mother asked the daughter for her water thermos, one of those metal ones. And she hit the 15-year-old in the head with the water
Mm.
thermos and had 17 stitches in her
The
head.
mother hit a student, hit the, that's sick.
Yeah, because she didn't want her and the daughter were in an
Mm.
altercation. I'm like, 14, 15, you should have just pulled them apart. But then
Got
mother got
involved.
involved. So now, yeah, now the mother
Assault
is
charge,
in
yeah.
jail. Yes,
Deservingly so. That's crazy. That's sick,
that is.
but God's gonna take care of us. I think that
I'm serious.
this today's topic is gonna be Vicky, keep trying. Don't give up. That I think today's topic on economic issues on a survey is based on a survey, so I'm not making this stuff up. The Pew Research did a survey, and they actually asked people, what do you think are the major problems? And when they asked them, what do you think are the major problems of the nation today? They asked them near like in February of this year, 2025. So then the reports found out that the top issues ended up being economic issues. The Pew
Mm,
Research found out that most adults say the nation's economy is only fair or is doing poor. So their economic sentiment, including Republicans and Democrats, see multiple economic problems as very big national problems. So when looking at that research, I said, like, this is worth a discussion to kind of see where we are in that. Like, to see, do we feel, Miss Clements, do you feel, come on in, y'all, come on in. Like, do we feel that, what do we feel are the biggest problems in America today? What do we feel if we said, like, what do we think? Not even thinking about what, that it has to be economic, but I feel it's interesting that 50%, 50% of the people surveyed, Ms. Deloach and Ms. Wilkerson, said that moral values, which I think is even more interesting, that 50% that said that moral values are a big national problem. And that was higher than racism, which only was the top concern for 36%. 50% said the state of moral values is the top national concern. But the top national concern was the role of money in politics. 72%
mm,
72% concern over the role of money in politics. Economic
dang.
issues top the public's list of national concerns, including the role of money in politics. Isn't that interesting? And this is after the election.
I wouldn't be
Yeah, it was
surprised.
after the election. I guess it was saying about so much money was raised. Like, I think Miss Harris was the first candidate ever to raise like $1 billion. Mm.
Dang.
So even though it's a big concern, she raised the most money, but she still didn't win. But that's statistically out of line. Generally, the candidate that raises the most money will win the race.
Wins.
Remember, I did that on one of the
Yes.
Wednesday nights. I was talking about.
Yes.
It was an interview with one of and then I kind of shared screen, but it was showing this senator. What's his name? He ran for an office. A little white guy. with white hair. And he said that generally the candidate with the most money wins the race. A whole study could be done on why didn't that work this time.
True.
We need livable wage for more of us. That is a top concern, but not for the majority of people, unfortunately. It's a top concern for us, which I talk about all the time, but it's not even on the list. Yeah, okay. A top concern at 53% was the number of Americans living in poverty. So I guess that would cover that. Because if you're getting a livable wage, everybody's making a livable wage, we would have less people living in poverty. Let's see. Good point. Let's see. I just muted y'all for a second, but just know that when you talk to me, make sure you mute the Mr. Barber. He's our executive engineer producer. We're gonna get him in the studio so he can control these things. God help me out, Mr. Barber. Thank you for telling me that. So the role of money in politics topped the list, followed by the affordability of healthcare. The affordability of healthcare. I would think that would be at the top of the list. But now that we have, the Obamacare and everything, but affordability of healthcare is still an issue. But I was asking a client a few moments ago because she ended up having to have some surgeries and stuff. And I said, how much out of pocket so far have you had to pay? And she said about $5,000. So that's affordable for my client. But the majority of people might not be able to, because according to research, it says that most people don't even have $1,000. So you're talking about, so that means like a lot of money. Like you notice that with like Medicare, a lot of the things are not covered. You notice that like there's more and more out-of-pocket money that has to be paid, even on Medicare. And so that would fall under making affordability of health insurance a second concern, because it's not a concern until you need it, huh, Mr. Loach? Like, so if a person needed it, so thank God that we're healthy, but, we do need to think about, as I always say with clients, if they get me involved in selecting their health insurance, I always go, let's look at the maximum out of pocket. What is the maximum out of pocket? Exactly. Yes, indeed. Keeping our dollars in the community. It won't be a national concern, but it could be a community concern. Or like making sure that we carry ourselves as business owners so well that people want to do business with us. I don't feel that you all have to sacrifice anything. Like, I feel that my goal, the level of service, and the broad variety and the reduction in expenses that AfroEconomics is giving you, and the opportunity to build wealth, that I don't know where else you would do better. To me, that's what Black business should be about. I'm sacrificing to give you the opportunity that you deserve. No, I do feel that, yes, that in business we should sacrifice something because I own the business. I'm building the business. This is my dream. No, so like, yeah, I want to keep the money in our community, but I believe that our community has to be committed to protecting your money. We got to do right by one another. We got to make you want to pick me. Yes, and you should say, what's in it for you? A lot of times when we're doing business with each other, the business will take our community for granted, and think that our community is supposed to accept something less. When it's not, just because just God forbid they decide to be cheaper. No, maybe cheaper is not always got to be the goal. Maybe the goal should be quality. Maybe we should stop wanting to be the cheapest, because then, everybody in our community might not be able to afford you. You don't have to be the cheapest. Everybody doesn't have to be able to afford you, but it has to be quality. Be that one. Be that one. If they want cheap, they can go somewhere else. You always go anywhere to get cheap. But if you want some quality, we can do that. We can make a commitment in our community that what we provide is quality. To get cheap, you can always go on Amazon and get that. That could be our niche. Better quality, better service, more tailored, more personalized. If you had a plumbing business, you want to get, and you want our community to support your plumbing business, be the best, be on time, come within the time. You say you come in between 2 and 5. Don't get there at 6. It's not okay. Between 2 and 5. Call when you're on your way. Get a deposit. Don't say, well, people don't, they make the appointments and then they just so, well, all your competitors are getting a deposit. If you choose not to get a deposit, then you're choosing to be of lower quality, because they get a deposit because, they get that information like, hey, it's going to be $150 just for us to come to your door. So let's go ahead and take care of that now. How are you going to take care of that? We're not going to run it till we get there, but we do need that credit card information. Even restaurants are doing that. And it's okay, right? Like as the barber said, top quality. That's it. And please do, that's right, as David said, please do a great job. Yeah. Fix the toilet. But you know one thing, like, it's still loads, like open up your speaker. Like overwhelmingly, did it allow you to unmute?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I did it. Overwhelmingly, when people see us, they think they're trying to get a bargain. I remember one time I went into a shoe store. I have rather large feet, so I'm getting my shoes, and she's bringing out all these ugly shoes in my size. And I said, why are you bringing out all these ugly shoes in my size? And she said, well, you're here for the shoe sale, aren't you? And I said, no, I'm not here for the shoe sale. I'm here to get nice shoes in my size. I didn't like, what? She said, oh, well, everybody's here we're having a sale. I was like, no, but I understand, because my feet are kind of big. There's not a lot in my size, but I didn't say they have to only be from your sale item. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to see what pumps you have, in my size. Like, she's bringing these ugly shoes. Like, like what in the world? He said, oh, okay. But why? And this was a black person, like assuming the black person, what I'm saying? That like, no, why do you have to, these shoes are ugly. This is not what I asked for. And then you're, what I'm saying, doing this because you're assuming, why are you assuming that I don't have any money? Or why are you assuming that I'm not going to do that? Like Mr. Barber said, top quality. If I want top quality, oh, those, okay, like, whatever. But I was so turned off that I left. I just laughed because she felt like me not wanting to sell items somehow were inconveniencing her. It's like, you're gonna make me go all the way back here, and hence is why we have all these shoe stores where nobody helps you anymore. No, because people decided they didn't want to serve you anymore. Have you tried to go into Dick's Sporting Goods and buy some sneakers? It's ridiculous. It is freaking ridiculous. I was going through that while I was looking for a shot put. And I saw all these people, and then I remembered it was back to school. I was like, oh my goodness, I came at the wrong time. And I ended up like, they don't even have sporting goods. It should be called Dick's Clothing Goods, Dick's Sports Clothes Goods. Because I go in there and try to get a shot put, like it's basic track and field. Oh, we don't have things like that. Well, you say Dick's Sporting Goods. Oh, we don't have that. They didn't have anything for track and field except for shorts and sneakers. No hurdles, no, nothing. Like, that is silly. So they're giving it away. Like, you're giving Amazon that type of business. You're giving it to them. So if I were black and I was going into business, I was gonna start sporting goods. Guess what I would do? I'd put some freaking sporting goods in there. What kind of sport? What sports you do? What I'm saying? Or they might have some football, some basketballs, some little hand weights, some bands, stuff like that. But very, very limited on the actual sporting goods. Have you ever seen that, like stores that do that? They'll name their store a particular name and they don't have it. Like, yeah. It would be like JB Bryan, a registered investment. And I don't sell any investments. And people do that a lot. Now, that in financial services, they'll be like, so-and-so, investment, and they don't do investments. Oh, well, they do something else, or whatever. They don't do what I do. It's funny. It's funny. Like, and there was a time where actually the name of the business meant something. Yeah. Now, like, people just name anything. Like, there's names like AXA, like Amazon. What do those names mean? They mean something to us now. But when they first started that, isn't that something? Like, what? What is that? Back in the day, it would be like, it would be like fast stuff or something. You know what I'm saying? They name it something so that it would actually be a marketing. Now they go out of their way to name it something that means nothing, like Anthem.
Catchy name.
Anthem. Yeah, Anthem Insurance. Like, what does that mean? Truist. What does that mean? SunTrust. Maybe it sounds like a bank. Maybe it has like trust and I don't know. But it is interesting that we've like gone away from good brand name. I don't know if they're just because they can't all be taken. I guess they could be, but I don't know. I just think they put a lot of effort. Like when they changed Philip Morris. Well, what was Philip Morris anyway? That was probably like two people's names. But how about this? And I'm telling y'all random, I'm gonna go back to our list of stuff. But how about me and a client yesterday were searching on how many HBCUs are actually named after white people. Did you know that? Historically black colleges and universities There's about 10 that are named, and some of them are slave owners. Some of them were slave owners. Look who they are. So many. Like the when I heard the story behind Howard, like Howard, this is the story that I've read. That Howard, of course, was a white man, and he had children. He had mixed children, and he needed a place for them to go to college. So instead of him making it so that his black kids could go to college anywhere, he set up a separate school, and that's something for the black kids when we could have done integration a long time ago. Yeah, Mr. Barber, quite a few. Yeah, I bet he Googled it. You can just Google it. How many HBCUs are named after white people? Even Spelman is after a white lady. The Morehouse is after a white man. Like the it was Howard. You know, there was some. I think Xavier was a white man. There's a lot because historically, which I remember my father telling me this, but I never thought the name because my father was president of 2 HBCUs. He said my father was a dark-skinned man. He said back in the day, a white man had to be the president, and then soon after they started letting light-skinned men be president. And he was probably near the beginning of when they started letting dark-skinned men. And now we have women. But yeah, it's interesting. There was one. Now when I say this, like then AI starts bringing me up like all HBCU. But there is a president. Oh, Delaware State College, Delaware State University, because my father used to work there. The president was drunk driving, going across the line. It's called drunk driving. It's sad. I mean, he was really drunk. And he's been doing some major stuff trying to help, the schools. So like he become pretty popular in the HBCU community. It's sad. I'll be praying for him that he get released from that, because our habits can really jack you up. And I want to continue with this Pew Research on economic. The third top national concern, which also ended up being economic, was the cost of things. Inflation was number 3. And that's interesting. And then the federal budget deficit was number 4. And then guess what the 5th one is, y'all? It comes out of nowhere. This comes out of nowhere. How you doing, Mr. Graves? Was the ability for Democrats and Republicans to work together. That is a concern.
That is a concern.
Isn't that something? Because I always thought that it was only a concern for me. Then you really feel like that was just only a concern for you. But to me, it's like, how will we ever accomplish anything? Like, when I read that the Congressional Black Caucus would not allow a Black Republican man to be in it, I was like, it's not going to get any better for us than we stop. We have to stop. Or like when the NAACP wouldn't allow Trump to come speak, when he's the first president that you would not allow him to come. When did the NAACP become a political party? So yeah, those political problems, the inability to work together, yeah, is a huge problem, and it can hurt the Black community big time. Like the guy, I think his last name is Donaldson, and he said, I feel that if we get together, that's the Black man. He said, I feel that if we get together, the Black man that's a Republican in Florida, he went to a HBCU, I believe. And he said that I feel that if we get together, if the Congressional Black Caucus would allow me in, we could talk. We can talk. We can negotiate. We can do things together. We can see how each other sees things. But instead, like, it's like, no, you can't come here. You're not welcome here. What in the world? How can we discriminate against each other because of a political party? So now you're saying that this Black man, his skin does not supersede a political concern, but yet you want other people to give us respect over our skin. Somebody help me. I don't care which political party you two are in. As human beings that walk the earth, if you want to be my friend and you're friendly to me, I'm going to be your friend. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to be friendly to me. You just got to not attack me. Just don't stab me or something. You know what I'm saying? But we can be cool. And I want to hear your opinion so that I can get smarter. So that like stagnates. If there's one party that says we need to have a livable wage, and then the other party says, no, we don't need to have a livable wage. Can you imagine how powerful it would be to have a Congressional Black Caucus that has Black people from both parties in it? I'm like, what type of vision do they have? What could have been in mind when you name something the Congressional Black Caucus, but I cannot. If you're not in this party, it shouldn't even say Congressional Black Caucus if all Black people in Congress can't be in it. And until we stop discriminating against each other, yeah, that's going to be a major economic concern.
I don't think it was always that way. I think this came in sometime during President Carter's when the Republicans formed a club and you had to do everything because when Reagan was there, they were still having conversations and together. You know, you may not vote together, but they were civil with each other. Then came the Newt Gingrich, and then came the delays, and things
But I mean
changed.
the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yeah, but even with the Congressional Black Caucus, there weren't that many Republican blacks, and I'm thinking that the ones came in with the party line.
Politicians were Black. The first Black politicians were Republicans.
Yes. But I'm talking about the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yeah,
sometimes you can't. I mean, what came in was instead of you dealing with your constituency, it was the party line. Now I don't know because I'm not in there. But when you've got when you have some people who are not working toward the best interests, sometimes it's best not to have them around you. Now I don't know, but
the Congress, I see exactly what you're saying because that's exactly what their response is. The Democrats say that he doesn't agree with us, so he can't be in.
Well,
isn't that sick? That's really sick. Like, so I only want people around me that agree with me. That's so
are
sad.
there women in there?
Yeah.
Are there Republican women?
Oh, no. There aren't. I don't think there's any Republican women. Because I put on my Facebook wall that it's amazing. We have a Republican woman a Black woman running for the state of Virginia for the first time in history. I said, this is Black history. And Black people went crazy. It is Black history. Like, what in the world? How could that not count as Black history when there's a Black person is the first time they're running and they happen? You're Black first.
Yeah.
We're Black first.
But
Lord.
JB, that was not, I remember when Governor Wilder ran. I think I think times have changed. That's all. I think we were more inclusive, but times have changed, and hopefully we will get back because the entire country is being destroyed by this separatists. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but
I
it
wonder,
wasn't
I don't know, but I wonder if like white people do that. Like, well, they don't have anything called the Congressional White Congress. Like, so if you do something with that name, see what they should call it is the Democratic Congressional Black Caucus. Like, you can't sit there and take ownership of a Black caucus and not let all Black people in. That's sad.
okay. You see, I haven't done any research, but I don't think that's
You
the
can
case.
Google
I
it.
think what you're
Well,
doing,
I got it. I Googled it because somebody
you're
said it.
looking at today and making a statement about the past. And I don't think we were operating the way we are
Oh,
operating
but I'm just all
now.
we need to do is like, but the concern and the top national concern is
Yeah,
today that
right.
Republicans and Democrats is one of the top problems for our nation not being able to work together. That's disgusting
It
because
is.
if citizens are working hard, we're out here working hard. We vote for these people and then they sit there and not do their job because of their own personal agenda or the agenda that the top concern, the money that's financing them. I mean, you got people going into Congress making 170,000 a year and becoming multimillionaires in a couple of years.
Hmm.
There, that's why the money is a big concern. We have insider trading going on with these
Right.
Congress people, and they're not suing them. But if the Department of Justice says I'm coming down on that, they'll turn it into an issue of Republican or Black and white and this and that. No, it's a financial issue. You are robbing the people of America. Period. And we have been socialized to not be able to see that they're robbing us of opportunities because they're getting into those seats and not doing their job. They're not doing the job for the people that you say you want to represent. So we still don't have a livable wage, which impacts our community drastically. But we got
Hmm.
all these Black Democrats in Congress that want to leave out Republicans. Because what? Why? You're not getting anything accomplished. Maybe if y'all work together, y'all could. Isn't that interesting? If we start waking up like that and we take the upper hand as a community, as a Black community, and say, look, I want to know what that Republican boy thinks. I want to know what that Democrat boy thinks. And I want to know exactly how these things are going to impact my Black pocket. Not, oh, I only want to know what the Democrat boy thinks. And I'm going to settle for whatever impact it has on my pocket. Then he's got a lockdown on you because doesn't have to do anything. That's like telling somebody all you got to do is come to work and sit down because it doesn't matter what you do. I'm not going to question it. So what'd you do at work today? What? Can you answer those 5 questions? Are you crazy? I don't have to answer to you. I don't have to answer to you. And we're accepting that. And we're accepting that. We are the first concern. You discriminate against a Black man, no matter what political party he's in. We as a people need to say we don't discriminate. You do not discriminate against that Black man. Why in the world should a Black man that's in a different political party feel that he's vulnerable to no protection from our community. That is sad. So because you decide to be in the political party of the party that decided to free us as slaves, today we can't help you.
Are you basing this off of Tim Scott?
No, no, I'll talk about the black man that recently tried to get in. That's the senator out of Florida. No, I'm just talking about him. I don't know. I don't know. Tim Scott, what state was he?
I think Tim
Uh,
Scott is Florida, isn't he?
Was he
I
in?
think
Did he get in? Did Tim Scott get in? I don't know. But I'm talking about today, and I'm talking about the black man that might be the governor of
No, he's from
Florida.
South Carolina.
The black man, the black man from Florida that is the senator, Donaldson, Byron Donaldson, I think his name is, and he was rejected, and he's been on the Breakfast Club and everything. And I'm telling you, I think he went to a HBCU. He's 100% black man. And then Jasmine got mad at him because he's married to a white woman. Come on, Jasmine.
but this sounds like
Thomas
this sounds
Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson can have a statue of his black lady outside. But
Maybe.
today in 2025, a black man can't marry a white lady?
yeah,
And we're gonna
JB
talk about him? But
yeah,
Thomas Jefferson got his slave monumentized outside in the state of Virginia. And we go up there and act like she wasn't raped. She worked for you, Thomas Jefferson. And I love Thomas Jefferson. I went to the University of Virginia. But that's
It's
a slave.
Byron Donalds.
But that's a slave. What's his name? Remember? What? Right? Byron what?
Byron Donalds.
Exactly. Donalds. Yeah. What college did he go to? I'm telling you, sometimes we just don't want to give a black man a break.
I don't think that's it. I think
I think that's
He went
it.
to Florida
No.
A&M.
What is that? Florida A&M? Isn't that a
Yeah.
HBCU? I don't.
Yeah, A&M is a black college.
Right?
Yeah.
Because their band is really good and everything. I think so. Like, that's a black man. That man is 100. That's 100%. I mean, he's 100%. I don't understand. He has the right to have his opinion. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not going to hate him just because his opinion might not agree with mine.
there are other people there are Hispanic. There are other people in the Congressional Black Caucus. It was not established as a Democratic congressional.
There you go. So
congressional-
how do they push out Republicans?
Name that. But I think that
It's black
we
discrimination.
mentioned it, yeah, but this is what number on this thing, and I don't think it was talking about black on black. I think they're talking about everybody getting along because
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about black. Because
I know, but I'm just saying,
I'm saying like what we can do as black people. Like if it's nationally a concern, a top concern that the Democrats and Republicans don't get along, couldn't we start with us doing it? Like that's what I'm saying. I challenge us to get the Congressional Black Congress to not discriminate against other black people just because they're a different political party. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, they see it as a political instrument for
We
the
hear you,
party.
but we can't see you, Reverend Bozeman. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that everybody else can hear you. But yeah, they see it. They see it as a what? Did you say?
As an instrument for the Democratic Party rather than as
Yeah.
an instrument for black people.
Yes. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
But if it does, it goes back to money. We can follow the money on why they feel that. Their sponsor is on, you know what I mean, who's financing them in their office and pays their rent. We can easily follow the money and see, and we could easily say this is a bipartisan congressional black Congress if they wanted to do right.
Yeah.
The women seem to stick together more. I've seen the Democratic and Republican women take up issues and stand together. Now, I don't know I don't know if this is,
Are you referring to white women?
no, I'm talking about black
Who Jasmine
Republicans.
Crockett standing with? That's a Republican woman. If
I'm,
anything,
I'm
she
just
could
saying
she
the
did she
women
tore
seem to stand up on the issues, and it's not about Democratic or Republican. I have seen them
Oh, you mean like if they
TV
have a woman?
standing together. Now, I don't know what's wrong with the men. Uh,
But I don't think that's true about the women.
oh, yes, it is.
I don't see it.
We have
I mean, how are you gonna say I have never seen two men on the congressional floor attack each other? We
I
have
have
several women
seen
doing that.
no, I have seen the women stand together on issues that affect the family and women, period.
But the men do
Republican,
that.
Democratic,
But the men do
yeah.
that. But that doesn't supersede the
Well, I'm
fact.
just saying there's hope.
Yeah, but that's exactly good for you. Exactly. But let's
There's
say,
hope.
but that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that they always want us to see and go to a gender thing. So it moves us away from it's a black thing.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is this is a black thing that we have that is robbing us. It's robbing our community of getting the political attention that we deserve on issues that are vital for our community.
I don't know. I
Everybody,
think we've been disappointed with the Black Caucus for a long
Yeah.
time because
right?
they have
Mhm.
failed to respond to issues that are important to Black people.
But follow the money. Follow the money. Follow. All we got to do is follow the money. How they're financed. They are what master they're serving. It's some pharmaceutical company or some record label or whatever. Follow the money, and you'll understand exactly why they're doing what they're doing. And that
Okay.
is really sad. That's really sad to be some chemical company, some what I mean,
Yeah.
whatever, but they're just what I'm saying. They're not doing it for us, so they're selling out for the money as the number one concern was the impact of money on the political process. That's the number one top concern, the impact of money on our political process. And I'm telling you, that's all we're talking about is the number one concern. Number
Well, it's
five
about to
is
get worse.
number
It's just-
five is Republicans and Democrats working together. But
yeah,
why do you why do you say?
that used to be true that they did work together. I don't understand why there's such uh, a chasm between them now.
This is what I heard, and y'all got to tell me if this is true. That when the Civil Rights Amendment was approved, it was Republicans and Republicans in both sides, majority Republicans. The Republican Congress, a Republican-led Congress, approved the civil rights agenda,
Yeah, I
and
think that's true.
the president happened to be a Democrat.
Yeah, Johnson.
Do you know how
Mhm.
many of us, our community, has no idea about that? Our
True.
people have no idea about that. That's how important it is for us to have our presence on both sides of the aisle.
Agree. Agree. But have you noticed that we sing, and I'm going to take, um, I hate to hold on Tim Scott, but it is important for us to be, I won't say as one, but we need to be aligned as what's important to us. But have you noticed um, there's no such thing as racism. There's not everything. And you talk about people being paid. They're being paid on both sides of the aisle.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So
But
we do have
but
to come
and
together
that's what
as
we need to
one.
realize that if we can get you can get money from both sides. So
Yeah.
why give up? Why only settle for one side?
I
At
always
least you can
thought
look
that
out.
they
But
didn't
if
want to be
it will work
associated.
out. Yeah. Uh-huh. What'd you say?
I always thought the Republicans didn't want to be associated with the Black Caucus because they're for everybody except for those that are their color. Now, that's just my opinion of what I have seen. Now, I know there are more in there now, but I really don't watch the news anymore, and I
Things change. So
I
you're saying that black that you feel like black people that have decided to be Republican are not conscious of their blackness.
no, I'm giving you an example of some, not all of
But
them.
you're saying
But
some of
and even I've been thinking about becoming a Republican so I can run against this Kennedy man who's from Alabama and Louisiana, and run against who else is. Well, you really Speaker of the House. You know why he won? Because nobody in the state of Louisiana, no Democrat ran.
mm.
So and I was like, in that year, I was like, I
But that's
should
it, you know what I'm
run.
saying? That's money. Like I remember one time I was gonna run for city council and I went to see the senator, and the
Uh-huh.
senator said, we know who we want,
Yeah.
so don't
Yeah.
waste your time. And that's how this two party, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
political system, even on a local level, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, controls thing. I was just talking about local office, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the person that he said he was endorsing to run ended up getting a felony and they kicked him out of office. Like, you know what I'm saying? But did he ever
Yeah.
like call me back and say, oops, I made a mistake? Let's, you know what I mean? Let's talk about this. And
Yeah.
he charged me for the meeting to just sit down and talk to him
Ooh.
about it. Yes.
Wow.
That I mean
Yeah,
the
I
senator,
think,
like this is, this is crazy.
yeah, I don't
But
think
that
it's
is the
about
part that
Democrat and Republican because they are clearly the majority are clearly together on most things.
but I'm gonna
They
say
do a good talk, but they are together. Just like I was saying when Mike Johnson was running for Congress, there was not one Democrat that ran against. You would think the Democratic Party. The thing is it doesn't even have anything to do with the parties. It's the
from
power. The
and
power of.
yeah, and there's much more politically all over the country. There are much more seats available as far as like when they do this, like setting it up into
Mhm,
sections. It is very much leans towards the Democrats. Like, those when they switch, how everybody
mhm,
in
mhm,
Texas is upset about the switches, you know like everybody forgets that the Democrats did the same thing.
mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? When
they
they feel
did.
like they have power, like, they're switching out the way the seats are coordinated. But it's like, if we pull ourselves away from that
Mm.
and focus on what is good for the community,
Right.
how do we save the Black family? How do we make sure that Black children get a good education, a better understanding? I don't think that the answer is for them to continue to be told by any party that they're victims. You'll
Right.
never make it. Everybody
Right.
hates you. And there are some politicians, their whole agenda is to make Black people feel like they'll never get anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when some of them say, you know, like, which the media will interpret it as they said racism doesn't exist, what they're saying is racism can't hold you back. Racism does not have to
No,
dominate
he
your
was
life.
clear on what he
Who are you
meant. He
talking
was
about?
very clear.
Who? Who?
Tim
I'm not.
Scott.
You're
He was
saying, oh, you
very
didn't
clear
say
on what
that.
he
So
meant.
you're saying that Tim.
What's that other guy?
I don't.
Our
Wait a minute.
Supreme Court
What are you
Justice.
saying about Tim
What
Scott?
I'm saying is, okay, I'm not trying to defend because our
No,
organizations
but just
have
say,
problems.
are you
But what
saying
I'm
that Tim
saying,
Scott said
Tim,
there's no racism?
Tim Scott was very clear in that
That what? What did he say?
he was not black. I'll just put it that to
Tim
you.
Scott,
He
that
didn't
black
have
man?
any. He hasn't. he doesn't have the Black experience. He doesn't act like it. Clarence Thomas is another one. They don't have the Black experience. Their
But that
lives
man,
have
are you
been,
talking about
their lives
that dark
have
skinned
been
black man?
more,
That
their
dark
lives
skinned
have
black
been
man.
more
Is
over
he dark
what they
skinned?
have accomplished.
Yeah,
Are
but if
you?
they grew up in the suburbs and not in the city, their experience is entirely different.
Yeah.
But it is, but you still in the suburbs,
So
you
they
know,
are,
but in the suburbs, you still know that you're black. You still know that you have a disadvantage. In the suburbs, you're more likely to know that you're black because there's no other black people. People in the city, when there's other black people, actually have an advantage. And you can ask David Goggins about that. He was talking about he was mixed race and about how he was called nigger and everything in the suburbs. Like we know it exists, but from a motivating yourself perspective, we still have to get past that because every white person is not racist. That is not the mentality. Some of the stuff that we're doing that's holding us back is we're not doing what we got to do.
That's right.
So if
right.
things go wrong for me, I first have to take responsibility for it. If my child doesn't do what she's supposed to do, I gotta take responsibility for it, no matter what they do, because we know the truth that black people have been through far worse
Mhm.
than what we get today.
Yep.
What we get today, like you know what I'm saying? We have opportunities that people before us never had.
That's right.
You ain't even got to go into school. We can go and get a degree, multiple degrees, even a PhD online. Nothing
Yeah.
holding us back.
Right.
Nothing. I mean, but I'm just saying that that has to be respected. And instead, people like me are put down because I fed myself for 30 plus years. Nobody, nobody feeds us when we're an entrepreneur, but our work and our clients. And they
Yeah.
told me black people would never invest with me. They told me this is black people. Black people
Mhm. I
told me,
believe it.
you know what I mean? You're not gonna make it. It's not gonna work. Black folk ain't got no money. If I gave into that, I wouldn't have 30 years. I'm still here.
Yeah.
You got money, like you know what I'm saying? Yo, oh my goodness, the
Well, we're
lies
dealing
that
with
we've been told.
400 years of brainwashing, and
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you,
there's
thank
only
you.
like 10% of us that are seem to be breaking out of that.
Thank you. Thank you. And a lot is like we've been told like, okay, you have this type of attitude like I have, you know, entrepreneurship and I can do it myself and this and that, that, you know, all of a sudden that I'm not feeling sorry. Yes, I'm not feeling sorry because I've been a single parent. I've been left. I've had to do it all by myself. I had to. My father didn't. My parents didn't give me no money to start my business. They didn't do that. They couldn't do it. You know, he was the next to last of 11 kids. He worked on farms. My mother's parents were farmers. Lord, I'm a freaking descendant of a slave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's possible.
Oh yeah.
But if
I
people keep
agree.
telling these kids, you can't take care of yourself, you got to go out there and get that government job. And if that government cut back, oh my God, what you gonna do? You done lost your government job. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't see the freedom in that. If you lose a job, you get another job. It's easy to get another job. But why aren't we talking to our people about starting businesses, building their own, sacrificing? You know the amount of sacrifice that I've had to make to have my own business? I don't feel like there's nobody that owes me anything. Yes, black businesses are undercapitalized. But if we get that capital, then I'm also giving up ownership and I'm also giving up control. You see what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah.
then you got yourself under the master again. So everything has its pros and cons.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, Tim Scott, I don't know, because there certainly are people that are confused. But
Mhm.
he's a public servant getting a salary. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's just a government worker. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to do his best. But I don't think there's no black man And even Herman Cain said this. You know what I'm saying? They all know discrimination. We all know there's people with issues. And we get issues with people who don't like women, people that don't like black people that don't like tall people that don't like, you know what I'm saying? People that talk a lot, people that don't. We get it all different kinds of ways. But I literally have not met a white person that didn't have their own challenges too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Humanity has challenges.
Yes, indeed. They can have more money. They have done surveys on other cultures, and other cultures that have way less than us are happier than Americans. We're
I believe
overfinanced.
that.
You know what I mean? We're overworked. We're overfinanced.
Mhm.
What we see is girl power, and it has done broke the family apart. Where everybody got to have two incomes. The kids are out there on the street. The men are leaving. You know, if the Democrat Party owns us, then they need to do something better than this. That's literally what black people should be saying. If 90% of the black people vote for Democrats, then what are we doing? Why are our schools still weak? Why are our kids not excelling? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is these politicians that you're wasting your vote on? Like, what are they doing?
They didn't really feel any pressure because they knew black people were going to vote for them automatically.
They didn't even
which is why this last election was really a good election, because even though Trump is a madman, it showed that black people who moved over to Trump to support him are tired of being exploited by the Democratic Party.
And I don't understand, like, the best way for you not to get attacked is you have to start that sentence that way, that Trump is a madman.
Yeah.
Where I feel that a president like Joe Biden, who promises to make sure that we have a livable wage, but he doesn't make sure that people have a livable wage, and he lives in Washington, D.C., and allows those people to build a whole city of tents like it's not the United States of freaking America, the nation's capital. That to me is a madman. You get in your limousine every day and drive by all these people sleeping on the street, and you don't have a problem with that. But the man that says, I have a problem with these people living on the street, is a madman. And everybody says, yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy. Because he's putting these people in hotels. He's putting them in all types of places. He's putting them in small apartments, big apartments, this, that, I don't know. They're all off the street. Isn't that something? As a matter of fact, he's a madman. He's trying to make sure that my grandma don't get carjacked. He's crazy. Who in the world would want to protect black people? Isn't that something, though? But they have convinced us that he's the madman, but the one that can't even just give you livable wage, because he said, oh, it'd be too much strain on corporate America. We don't want to give livable wage. After he got all those votes for promising to have a livable wage, we still have same federal minimum wage. And that's it. I mean, I'm just saying, we got to start deciding who's mad.
I think we have to pick individuals. It's not the parties.
Amen.
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 First of all, do they have
But people don't. But people don't do that.
People to do the right thing.
Yep.
I know.
They don't do that. They do, especially us. We have party allegiance for absolutely no reason. No reason. None. I would be if I were like a leader and I was respected and I got past 200 clicks. I don't nobody click on my shit. Like you go, I would say you do whatever you want to do. If you pro family and you do that. If you are anti-abortion, then you do that. If you so, then you do that. You ain't got to be. We got our ministers going in church.
Right.
Everything the Bible says this, and the minister says, "Oh, don't worry about the fucking Bible. Do this," and he gonna be talking about me cussing. But you're not worried about the Bible.
Right. Agree with that.
Our churches have decided to make a decision. That is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you, if I mattered, I would say that they don't want you to respect Donald Trump because he is the man that treats the black man like a man. He talks to black men like men.
That's right, he does.
He talks to like a freaking man. I can't stand when somebody's condescending to me. Even Obama up there talking about, thugs walking the street, dogs, so and so.
Yeah. That's the party line. That we are like that.
We got high. We need people to have high expectations. I can't stand when somebody doesn't expect excellence from me. Well, you just black, y'all don't finish things, y'all fat, you gotta have a wig on, wouldn't that be something? Girl, wear your wig. I would be so mad. And then when we have our politicians who go up there and just perpetuate the whole bitter black woman thing. So then you have to go to work and everybody looks like you know what I mean? Like, okay, here come another bitter black woman. We're not bitter.
It's strange with Crockett because when you see her before she became a congressperson,
right?
She was erudite, illiterate. She spoke very. She's what did they say? They say she speaks well.
Yeah.
They speak, and she spoke well, and now she threw that all away to go into this this ghetto act that she's doing.
No, but don't they call that code switching?
Yeah,
just code
but
switching.
It sounds like code switching in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what she feels is the right direction. Oh, that's what she feels. But if we allow this, if we allow these things to like represent, then the young people behind us feel that that's the correct behavior. So we're gonna have all these, you know what I'm saying? So the next person that gets in the congressional seat, she gonna have to be even more exaggerated, even more like oh my goodness, it's sad. I mean, do you imagine the amount of money she raised by giving that woman all those insults? And not one person said, wait a minute, we don't have to do that. Insult for insult. We don't have to do that. The power is in the strength of not responding to ignorance. But our young people are not going to see that because all they see is acting ignorant. That always makes the headlines. That always gets it.
Always.
You get on the Breakfast Club because you get to act ignorant. But if you follow the rules, you do the right thing, you carry yourself accordingly. I love it when that WNBA player, did you see that when she was doing an interview and she had this do-rag on her head? And she got a call from her mother and she said, my mother told me to take this rag off my head. And she went, amen. That's the future. May these young girls show us how to act.
All right.
I told my daughter this morning, I said, baby, women with good self-esteem get men with that have an ability to take care of them and provide for them. And that's exactly the right thing to do. The reason I did what I did is I felt that if I was doing everything, pulling everything, paying all the bills, then he would not leave me. That fear of abandonment, that lack of self-esteem, that I thought this is the right thing to do. That is why I did not have the right teammate. Because when that teammate feels like they're okay, then they leave you with the 4-week-old child. You need the man that feels that he's in charge and is able to take the responsibility for you having that child. I was like, there's no way that I was supposed to be having a baby on Friday and working on Monday, and I didn't know nothing was wrong with it. Somebody, you need that. Like, but we need people saying that it's okay to grow up and get a husband and then have a baby, and that it's okay. Why do I feel like I cannot say that we can have family values? We don't even have ministers saying that. Why does everybody feel like everybody gotta agree with them? Like when they're in a position to save people's lives, make things work, build families, build the community. You know what I'm saying? Why? I mean, even I would not even want people to be in the wrong place if I knew they had kids at home. Like say I was a minister and I had the biggest church in America. And I look out and it's 7:00 at night and these women ain't home and they, and the majority of them, got school-age kids. It's 7 p.m. and they still ain't here. It's 7 p.m. Kids ain't had no dinner. They ain't got, get out and go take care of your kids. And go take care of your kids. Like we don't have anybody doing that. It's like, oh, this is good for me. I'm getting your money. You just stay right here. So that's what I'm saying. It has to be bigger than politics. We have to start saying that our community matters. The Black community matters. Black youth matter. Black men matter. Black women matter. I remember I was in a meeting and I was like, hey, this whole thing, asking this guy from the Obama administration about the changes in the definition of the minority. And I was like, this is going to have a huge impact on Black men. And they were just looking at me like, all Black people in the room, they were looking at me like, oh, wow, why are you bringing up something realistic? Daggone it. Really perturbed that I was challenging this man and the move and their commitment to helping out, the Black, because to me, the Black man is the beginning of the Black family. So if we're going to do that, then I told him too, I was like, you're indirectly impacting the whole Black family when something hurts the Black man. If people want to have a family, even if they're not together, and you got a kid with this person, he still has to take care of the child y'all have together. We can't. And see, so now I think that Black women are starting to see that. Because now we have, these Black women losing their jobs. And then they see, well, you didn't make sure that we secured the Black man. And then now the Black woman feels insecure. So then what? It's all jacked up. We have to get back to our community values. Amen. That everybody matters. We can't just like, oh, just we're gonna win. Oh, just me win. Doesn't matter. So the state of moral values was 50% said that a top national concern is the state of moral values. Gun control came after that. The way the political system operates was after that at 48%. Illegal immigration was 48%. The financial stability of Social Security was at 47%. Mind you, this is compared to 72% saying their major national concern was the role of money in politics. And that's something.
Yeah, but it's about to get worse because there's a
Violent crime, 47%, right there with Social Security. And you feel like the role of money in politics is getting worse?
yeah. Well, JD Vance wants to go to the Supreme Court because he feels that there are too many restrictions on money and that it should be wide open.
Wow. Oh, yeah, because remember in that last race, they raised less money.
Yeah, they did. For all the good it did us.
His party. But I don't even feel like there's really restrictions, Lord. Everybody.
But you know, the problem with the Democratic Party is that they got all caught up in these ancillary issues, you know, transsexuality and gay rights, etc. And they left us, the people that they're supposed to be working for, they left them behind.
Yep. That's true. They went to take care of just a segment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When if they had focused on Black, I'm Black before my sexuality. I'm Black before, you know what I'm saying? Like you're a person, you're a girl before you do any of these. You're a woman before that. You know what I mean? Even if they had just focused on woman and men, man and women, like, you know, like yeah. But then you'd have to get all of that woman or all the men to vote to win. So maybe they figured like I get all the women and I get these special interest groups as well. And maybe that was their approach. But
and then they wouldn't listen when people were complaining about the gates being wide open at the border.
Yes.
You know, there was a lot of Black people complaining about that because it was affecting their neighborhoods.
And the wages.
And the wages, yeah.
So, you know, you see, you running on, I'm going to make sure we have livable wages. But yet you let all these people in that they can pay anything they want to. There's no regulation on illegal immigrants. They can do anything to them. It's modern day slavery, actually. And the sad part about it is that the undocumented are treated so poorly that and through history, it might end up being that, you know, it's seen as a form of slavery. Because by the Democrat Party encouraging the undocumented to exist, they are saying we want to keep a form of slavery. Just like filling up the prisons.
Yeah.
Those prison workers work so hard at so low wages, you know, that there is a basic push to keep people in prison. There's such a commercial, you know what I mean, benefit to prison workers.
Yeah.
Mr. Loach, that's scary.
If it's profitable, it stays.
Yeah.
It is scary, but I don't think it's a Democratic. I don't think it's a Democratic or Republican problem. It's Project 25, which has Democrats and Republicans.
No, we're talking about the undocumented and the people in the prison.
I'm talking about that too. They were let in to work as slaves on the farms. They turned it around. They want them to leave because they got all the businesses. They've taken away all the business and stuff. So I think the problem is like, I think it was like number one, it's morals. We have changed.
No, that was 50%.
Like you say, we're allowing everything we see and we don't see. And I don't care when you put children in cages, I'm sorry.
But who put children in cages?
That is one of the worst things I can think of.
Who put children in cages? The media says that. It's BS. It's BS. The media says that. We have undocumented people being put in a secure location, and then the media, and that's inappropriate morals for them to say that,
Yeah,
like to make you feel like you got these, you know what I mean, babies in cages. That's terrible.
right.
when the
It
when
is
the when the
terrible.
when the tragedy is we have your mom and your dad working here for $2, $3 an hour because
Hmm.
these people don't want to pay them fairly. And when they get injured, they're not covered by Social Security.
That's
They're
right.
not covered by any benefits. But that's what the Democrats are
It is
pushing.
slavery, but there are laws, and that's the part that
But the Democrats are pushing
no,
for
the
it.
part that disturbed me is that we have supposed to have in this country check and balances, and they all fail.
Yeah,
The
they all
Yes.
fail.
legislative
But
That's
failed,
right.
the
all they
judicial
should
failed,
have
the
done,
executive failed
but
us.
all they have to do right now, if Democrats cared, that
You
the
know,
politicians, if these politicians cared, they would get all these people documented. They would
Right.
be doing the proper paperwork to get these people
Yeah.
documented so that they would be covered under our systems. Look, and then the majority of Democrats feel that the federal deficit is a problem. So if we get them all documented that they like the way they want to, then the federal deficit will be even worse.
well, we've also got a hidden factor here, which is Agenda 2030, which is a United Nations agenda, and they want to make a one world government. And there are people quietly going along with that, uh, including the Democratic Party. And that was what when Trump got elected, he upset him because he said America first.
I know that's right.
And they've been trying to diffuse America first so that it becomes a world government, make
Mm,
everybody a world citizen.
that's
Uh,
ridiculous.
but what that does
I
is
thought that
that,
was what Trump was doing.
Mm.
But
No, he's definitely America first. But then
mm,
they talk about like that's terrible. He's a nationalist. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, it's called
I
nationalism.
thought
Yeah,
that's what we all were.
right. But that's he's upsetting the plan by going America first.
That's
mm,
ridiculous.
The trouble is that
I gotta pay taxes to
that
America.
whole
You know what I'm saying?
yeah that whole
Who we gonna pay tax? So we do this whole world thing, and I've invested all my tax money into America, and they trying to get who is this politician that's trying to get me to give up all my tax money, part of my property, everything. You know what I mean? You're gonna give out all your assets so that we create this whole one world. But that's what they don't like. We think, oh, that's so nice. That's such a nice thing to do. But we're the ones that are sacrificing everything.
yeah, we're
mhm.
paying for it.
Like that time
Right.
when Ukraine came in and we give you all this money, all these tax dollars to come over here, give you all these freaking weapons, all this stuff, and then you come in to have lunch and you're not talking about how I'm gonna pay me back. Boy, if you don't get out my house, you gonna get hurt. That to me was plain and simple. Like you owe me money. If we all had just gone off, like if we all really understood, but no, they turn it into this political issue. But the bottom line, like Trump is saying, you owe me money. So we gonna come in. And then some people got mad because he was like, well, we were like, I'm gonna come over here and get your minerals. Oh my goodness, can you believe he wants to go and get these minerals? What in the world? The man owes you money. So you don't collect money that people owe you? It's like going when you got a car, you didn't pay for the car. What do? They come and repo that damn car.
That's right.
That's what we would do. That's what we're doing to Ukraine. We repoing. Oh, you got this, well, we get this. I don't understand. Like that just to me is just basic economics 101. You owe me money. I gave you this, but then it's like, well, we gave it to them because it was just we were just gonna give it to them. No, sometimes we just don't. Even if you're in the party, you don't have to agree with them. Like you just have the right. We have the right to say that's stupid for us to just give away all them tax dollars. We need to stop getting involved or get the money back.
Yeah, we need
I
to do
don't
that
know
with
what party
Israel as
that
well.
is, but that's just basic economics. Like, you know what? We should just say, okay, what is important to us? Okay, then that's the party that I'm gonna be with, no matter what your color is. Don't believe the hype. Democrats beat Fannie Lou Hamer almost to death. Finally, racism came in at 36. It is not 36%. According to the poll, it is not a big concern. Isn't that something? Far smaller shares of the public see terrorism, racism, or climate change as being big problems for the nation. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, well, everybody's under tension, and so they don't care about helping somebody else. It's like I got to get mine in order to survive, and let them
That's
get
so true.
theirs.
That's so true. They broke it down by party. Okay, so 55% of Democrats, 55% of that 36% were Democrats that saw racism as a problem, and 15% of that 36% was of that, 15% of it was Republican, came from people that identify as Republican. So far less Republicans saw it as a problem. The far less, no, drug addiction was at 51, right under the number of people living in poverty as a problem, right under the ability of Dems and Republicans to work together. What if the reason that, I don't know, whoever Pew decides to participate in their poll, what if the reason that less Republicans see racism as a problem is because they're less racist? Wouldn't that be something?
Well, I think
Because
Republicans
if
are.
I don't see racism, if I don't identify with racism, if I'm not racist, then I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But this is a possibility. But instead, we have been socialized to see they're less caring, they're less empathic. And they don't have any empathy. They don't think that racism's real. But maybe Tim Scott is saying that racism, like even Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said he's never been a victim of racism. He's been rapping since he was 11.
Hmm.
The man looks very, very different than anybody I've ever seen on the planet. He has his own look. He almost looks like he's from outer space. And he's saying he has not been discriminated against. That's interesting.
Well, the Republicans believe in entrepreneurship too.
Who?
Republicans believe in business.
And I feel
business.
And I feel that as entrepreneurs, we do feel we don't have to face racism as much. I felt in corporate America,
yeah,
I was always dealing with that question. Is she doing this to me because she's racist? Is he doing this because he's racist? But as an entrepreneur, I found freedom, and I did not feel that way every day. I don't think about that on a daily basis, thank God.
Right.
I feel like I'm in control. I can make this happen. Nobody can stop me. And that's why I feel more Black men and women need to be entrepreneurs, especially Black men.
When you look at the Democratic Party, most of them have never been in business. They've always been in government.
True. They're pro-government, bigger company.
They don't understand business.
Good point. Good point. Good point. They see billionaires as a problem, a threat. It's crazy. but yet they make so much money.
Exactly.
They make so money. They're found guilty of insider trading as politicians all the time. They just don't get them. But yet billionaires are the problem. Somebody who sacrificed everything they have in order and ain't asked nothing from the government, but they're the problem.
They're the problem, right?
And they're employing thousands of people, giving job opportunities. What type of ideology is that? Like they said, like Elon Musk as an individual, paid more taxes than one person has ever had to pay in taxes. And they try to socialize us that don't pay taxes. Taxes are the enemy. You can get around it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Where AfroEconomics is about tax strategies. That's why they don't want you to hear that. That's why I don't have 10,000 subscribers and 100,000, 200,000. Because I'm talking about protecting you, protecting your family, building something real. Stop being scammed. Stop accepting the truth. It's not always what we think. It's not always what we think. We should always question ourselves. Like I was looking at something that was crazy. And they said like the first person to legally own another person was a black man. I was like, what? In the United States of America? I was like, nah. Remember we were talking about that Friday? And it was Anthony Johnson, a black man, took a black man to court, or took another slave owner, I guess it was a white man, to court because he was going to have his slave. And Anthony Johnson said, no, I own that man. You can't have my slave. And that is the beginning of American slavery, a black man. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
A black man slave owner. But we don't know that because nobody wants us to understand that it was about business. It was a get over opportunity. Get some free labor. And I really don't think we're that far from it right now with these undocumented.
Right.
It's like it's you know what I mean? Like basically the North and the South. And there's gonna come a time where the undocumented are gonna say, thank you, America, for paying for me to come back home. I did not know what I was doing to myself and my family. Like it says, you know, in the commercial, and go and do your paperwork and we'll bring you back. Amazing. But the correlation is scary. Y'all pray. Wow. Thank you, Reverend Bozeman. Thank you, Mr. Loach. Thank y'all. We really did some talking today. But I you know, that is interesting. We did critical thinking. Thank you.
Yes, we did.
For thinking with me. God bless y'all.
I love you, JB.
Love you more than that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Loach. I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate you. I love your insight. I love your point of view. And I feel that me and you could have a Congress and we could be together. You know all three of us, and we bring in so that's see the benefit of having all these different thoughts. Okay. That's where the power is. Yeah. Love y'all.
All right. See you Friday.
Yeah. You know, when I sit down, I'm really thinking. Love you. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all so much. Interesting, right? We all stop talking. I'm going to close this out. Thank you for your time today. I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly AfroEconomics podcast. There are many levels of AfroEconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag AfroEconomics. Thank you. And I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics. Our Black Wealth Matters.